should do it because it's you know, guys, a lot of people got cancer, right? 1 in 2 people are going to be affected by it. Either they're going to have it themselves or they're going to have a family member that has it, right? With stage 4 breast cancer in 2015. By the time she's already had surgery, chemo, and radiation, by the time she gets to her integrative doctor, she's got axillary mets as big as a tennis ball in both of her armpits.
So she had stage 4 ovarian cancer for how long did you say?
31 years?
32 now. 32.
That is insane. How do you, yeah, exactly.
People got cancer, right? 1 in 2 people are going to be affected by it. Either they're going to have it themselves or they're going to have a family member that has it, right? So cancer is a big topic. Let me just tell you how I got as quickly as I can tied into this whole thing. So a couple years ago, I'm reading an article about a lady who was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer in 2015. By the time she's already had surgery, chemo, and radiation, by the time she gets to her integrative doctor, she's got axillary mets as big as a tennis ball in both of her armpits. Okay? At that point in her journey, she chooses an integrative natural treatment that we do in our office, have been doing since 2018, called salicinium, combined with subcutaneous mistletoe injection. So I'd heard about mistletoe, but didn't know a whole lot about it. So long story short, 5 weeks, guys, into this treatment. So salicinium, the first 3 weeks is IV, and then you take it oral. And mistletoe sub-Q. 5 weeks into the therapy, both of her axilla are totally flat.
Wow.
8.5 years later, patient's still living in 2023.
Wow, man.
So exactly. So because of that miracle, I'm like, okay, we got to bring it into the practice. So the first thing I did was read the book that's associated with the article. The book says if you really want to do it right, you should go and get trained. So in February of 2023, I went to Emory University in Atlanta and got trained up on this. So what I'm looking for, Brett, is a picture of me with this doctor who's my new hero. Her name, she's a naturopath. Her name is Dr. Naisha Winters.
Go over to see all photos over there.
We're going to be scrolling a while.
He's left his post, guys. He's left his post.
So, okay, step back real quick. So, so she had stage 4 ovarian cancer for how long did you say?
31 years?
She's 32 now.
32
years
That
now.
is insane.
It's impossible.
How do you, yeah, exactly.
With God, all things are possible.
That's right.
So what kind of treatment was happening here?
This is her, so this is her food pyramid, y'all. What's on the bottom?
So is veggies.
9.
Okay.
9 cups of vegetables.
Wow, man.
3 cups of leafy greens, 3 cups of colorful vegetables, 3 cups of cruciferous vegetables.
Wow.
Then your fats, right? Coconut milk, eggs, olives, avocado, etc. Coconut. Meats, poultry, wild game, grass-fed beef, buffalo, lamb, pork.
And then sweets. Yeah, right. Sweets,
Stevia, chicory root.
Yep. Organic dark berries.
Organic dark berries and green apples.
That's her staple.
That's
her diet.
That's her deal right there.
Why can't this be a food pyramid for kids in school? I wonder.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
No kidding.
Let's give it a shot.
There's so much science that backs this up, man.
Because Kellogg's couldn't sell their cereal.
Yeah.
You're right. I read yesterday that when they put the cheap foods in the processed foods, it's a 7,000% margin that they're making.
Wow.
And so,
well, that right there gives you the answer, right?
Well, yeah, but
that's why
you
can't
have
change
to be a CEO and see these studies and see that it's causing all these problems in kids and adults. You have to be some sort of psychopath to say, I don't care. My shareholders need the. We can't affect our bottom line, right?
That's honest to God true.
Do they let their kids eat it?
Yeah, that's another.
No, it's like, do you think Bill Gates let his kids get the? I don't think. No. I don't think.
I always heard that Steve Jobs wouldn't let his kids have an iPad or an iPhone. He was like, it's just absolutely toxic for him.
Wow.
The man that created this stuff,
brother,
you know?
Big Christian follower, he says this thing is an idol. That's his word.
Oh man, I think your brother's right.
Wow. Right?
She looks great.
53 there, 54 now.
She looks great.
Right?
She looks absolutely great. Yeah. Looks awesome, man. 31 years. Man,
so
that is
anyway,
insane.
Yeah, one of the reasons I brought this today was in case
Can we get you on the microphone?
In case we got into this whole food pyramid business, that we could compare this 1980s brainwashing
I'll get a picture of it, and I'll be able to throw it up on the screen.
All right, here.
In post.
Have a seat back on the booster.
Back on my booster.
Back on your booster, please.
You don't even need to show this to camera. Assume that I'll get a picture afterwards, and when you're talking about it, I'll put it on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people will be able to see what you're referencing.
Well, let's jump into this, man. I mean, this is, or do you want to start with this or the girl with the things on her back?
Well, I mean, you guys probably have something sketched out, but I just want to.
We've been rolling for 30 minutes. So
This
is great.
may or may not come up. I mean, as the food pyramid thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to get Jenna's case up there, guys, because it's just piggybacking onto this whole
And this is the
Callie Means and Casey Means thing. I mean, they're freaking pile driving these assholes right now.
Yeah,
So we're
man.
just dogpiling on there with them.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So-
is this the patient that you talked about that also, like, I believe, like, when you first saw her, like, you just prayed, or like just like the vibe, like, is that the same patient? It was just like the positivity was like, even like when you first saw her.
I'm not sure, but that's bringing up another thing. Since I saw you guys last, we had an unbelievable case, guys, of a 51-year-old female with stage 4 breast in July. They basically said, you're going on hospice because you're dying. You guys know what lymphedema is, I'm guessing. So when they do breast cancer, breast cancer surgery. They also take the lymph nodes out of the axilla.
Oh, gotcha.
Sometimes it causes swelling in that affected limb. So she had that, stage 4 disease. You're dead. That was July 8th, the last time I saw her. Between then and the next time I saw this ghost, who's actually a real person, who's still alive and doing great, she was giving herself injection of a different tree, or actually a different plant called Helleborus niger, which is the Christmas rose. Christ.
Oh,
this
interesting.
rose only blooms at Christmas time.
Okay.
No
So
kidding.
Helleborus injection.
Yeah.
Helleborus updraft. So she had metastasis to her lungs. So she was breathing this Helleborus in a nebulizer. And without my permission, she's shooting her axillary lymph nodes with Helleborus niger. 2 months later in September, and her story got worse. I mean, she went in the hospital. She got sick. She had a pneumothorax. They put a chest tube in. You imagine the trauma that this kid is going through, right? Bringing up the cross for me for the very first time as I'm telling this story, right? I mean, she's just having the shit kicked out of her. But she did those 3 things, and most importantly, in my opinion, prayer. She just went out. Evan, they tell me I'm dying. I'd like you to pray for me. I'm only 51.
Wow.
I'd like to live. Mark, will you pray for me?
Wow.
She just went out and rolling as many prayer warriors as she could.
Wow.
And guys, I saw her back in September. We repeated her tumor markers. No chemo, no surgery, radiation. Her tumor markers were through the roof, and every one of them was at least half, if not 2/3 less than it was.
Praise God. That's
Crazy,
great, man.
right?
I
Power
love
of prayer.
that you incorporate that into all of
Yes.
this.
Isn't that
I
something?
love that
Awesome.
you do that.
Well, it's
Awesome.
the ultimate game changer.
Yes.
It is. It
It's
is.
right.
the Holy Spirit, man.
Absolutely.
It's the difference maker.
Absolutely.
You can only do so much in the physical plane. You've got to bring possibility into the space.
Yeah.
And that's it has a name, and its name is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Do you get pushback from the medical community on like a lot of this stuff? I mean, have you gotten in trouble with any of this? I mean, you're on the edge of like
Because you're
cutting
a
edge stuff.
You're a rebel, man.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
are. You're a praying doctor.
I do.
Integrative medicine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I used to joke, I've been called down to the Texas State Board more times than I changed my underwear. But yeah, there's an amount of scrutiny there for sure.
Yeah.
But there's an old Chinese saying that says, "The purest gold fears not the hottest fire." So in other words, if you
I
know
love
you're
that.
speaking truth, bring it. You know what I'm saying? Just bring
man.
it.
Yeah.
And
So it doesn't scare you then?
it doesn't scare me. It is a thing, but let me give you this case. So this is a lady, her name's Susan. She's got metastatic lung cancer. December of 2019, her primary tumor is 3.7 centimeters. And essentially the only treatments between December of 2019 and April of 2020 are this sort of a healthy diet, if you will, IV vitamin C,
Yeah.
kill cancer, make the patient stronger, versus chemo, which is kill cancer and make the patient weaker, and hyperbaric oxygen. So we're putting her in a hyperbaric,
Okay.
40 treatments in a hyperbaric place. So again, you think about what's going on. Cancer loves a very acidic environment. Right. Number one. Number two, as you guys know, what we're breathing at the moment is called air. Air is 21% oxygen, right? So picture yourself in this thing that looks like a miniature submarine with 100% oxygen being blown into it and then pressurized to the equivalent of about 19 feet of seawater. So we're pressing that oxygen into her body, right?
Wow.
In April, the 3.7 centimeter tumor, again, no chemo, surgery, radiation, has gone from 3.7 centimeters down to 2.3 centimeters. And I said, Susan, because we've got some lesions in your back, we might want to see an oncologist, see if they've got anything to add. So she goes to see the oncologist. The oncologist promptly reports me to the Texas State Board of Medical Examiners for practicing outside of the standard of care.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
We should talk about that for a second.
Yeah. We might want to say, I see.
Yeah.
It's not about patient outcome.
Nope.
It's not about the patient got better.
Right.
It's the fact that hyperbaric oxygen cuts into your bottom line and you're threatened by me.
We witnessed this with chimichanga too with
100%.
ivermectin, right?
Yep.
Oh,
100%.
ivermectin worked.
Wasn't even that too. It was that and
monoclonal antibodies.
Monoclonal antibodies. What was the other one they used?
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Crock
Just
of frickin'
so
shit.
much like that, man.
A fucking crock of shit. Suppress somebody's immune system when they're trying to get well. What a freaking crock.
And then get on to the doctor who's actually helping them.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Oh,
to
and
me.
I don't know, can't remember if I told you guys or not. In June of 2020, I got an actual physical piece of paper from the United States Federal Trade Commission. Dear Dr. Ganino, make sure in your social media posts that you don't say anything about anything that treats COVID, because as you know, there's no cure for it and there's no treatment for it.
That's the most fascist shit I've ever heard.
That
100%,
was June of
man.
2020. Yeah, fire the shot right over my head, right? So so we just keep doing our thing, guys.
How do you navigate
we just keep
it?
telling truth.
How do you get around it?
Well, in that particular case, I wrote a check to my attorney for $26,000. And
you got to do what you got to do, I guess.
To go to the state board, who said, basically, this woman has freedom of choice.
Yeah.
She's lucid. She chose this route.
Yeah.
Obviously, she had a good outcome from it. So, no, we're letting you go free, Dr. Ganino, with no penalty whatsoever.
Wow.
Except 26 grand.
Except $26,000.
No praise. No congratulations.
Right.
No.
The thing that should have happened.
Right.
The thing that should have happened is them give you a letter that says, wow, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
Because this woman's getting much better quickly.
Yeah.
But no, instead.
Yeah.
But even still, she did it of her own accord too,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so if something did go wrong, they would crucify you. But the big pharma companies.
Yeah, maybe.
The vaccines, we're told to get 80 before the age of 18. Something goes wrong.
They're immune.
They're immune.
Right.
Yeah, can't go after them. Can't go after them.
That's a problem.
So
that's a big problem.
How do you, the ultimate question is, so how do you go after them? Right? You can't go blow to blow, toe to toe with them.
We've got to infect the culture. We've said this on the show.
This is exactly how you do it.
Yes. Exactly.
You just stand on truth.
Yeah.
You just tell truth. When we throw Jenna's before and after, I mean, what's in it for me? Nothing in it for me personally. I didn't get paid for it. I mean, other than the fact that I got paid for the case, but I got to pay my people.
No,
what I
sure.
mean? There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no financial incentive. The incentive is to infect the culture.
So tell us about Jenna's story. Like, do
you want to? I mean, I think. Do you guys want to hear it twice, or we just roll, or
do we do this one with the last one, or what?
No, we didn't do this one last time.
No, we've been rolling.
Yeah,
we're on. Yeah,
he's going to chop it up.
We've been going for 40 minutes into the show. That's why when you were walking around,
can we get a microphone?
This is going to be the best.
This is how we get good content. He'll handle everything in post to make it look good.
There's just going to be a title card halfway through that says Ganino walks around.
So will I be able to? I mean, if I say here's her before picture, you'll be able to pop it up there.
Absolutely,
he's going to handle it all.
So this particular case, guys, is a 24-year-old female from Virginia who's been diagnosed with psoriasis by a dermatologist in Virginia. So psoriasis, as you guys may know, falls in a category called autoimmune disease.
Okay.
There's a ton of them in there. Psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis. Sjogren syndrome, just an absolute multiple sclerosis, lupus, just a ton of things that are termed autoimmune. The supposed expert in autoimmune disease is the rheumatologist. So if Evan's got psoriasis, he goes in to rheumatologist. Rheumatologist says, well, Evan, you have autoimmune disease, which means your body's attacking itself. We don't know what's causing it, and there's no known cure for it, but there are things we can do to control it. Here's your first prescription. It's a $5,900 a month drug called Dupixent, and I think it'll make it go away because it's attacking the root of the problem, which is inflammation. Well, no. No. Don't fall for that BS, okay? Yes, it's inflammation, but the spiritual question is what is causing the inflammation?
100%.
Yeah.
Dr. Ganino believes that what has caused the inflammation is somebody has purposefully genetically modified God's wheat. And it actually includes wheat, barley, spelt, S-P-E-L-T, and rye. Because I'll have patients a lot that ask, well, Dr. G, what about Ezekiel bread, from the Bible?
Yeah.
Ezekiel bread's got spelt in it. You can't have it if you're in the 40% of the population that includes my own daughter that's sensitive to gluten. So it's got to say GF on the label if you're in this 40% of the population. So Jenna's case, actually how I decided to post this on social media was I honestly got irked during the NBA championship basketball game. So I typically start this story, because I've told it a few times, by pointing out that usually every year when the Super Bowl runs around, they'll flash a little statistic up there. The cost for a 30-second Super Bowl commercial this year is X.
And it's crazy.
And it's a big number. It's
a
very big number, okay? So this is not the Super Bowl, but it's the NBA championship basketball game. So I'm guessing that it's not cheap to advertise during these 2 hours or whatever. So as I'm sitting there watching the game, a advertisement comes up for a medication to treat psoriasis called Bimzelx. I'd never heard of it before, never heard of the medication in my entire life. So I just got out my search engine and just for fun typed in, what is the monthly cost of Bimzelx? And answer is $14,350 per month.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, man.
So when I saw it, it just kind of got under my skin a little bit. And so the next morning, I posted on our social media Jenna's case. So again, the patient's chief complaint.
Oh, look, it's higher now.
Without health insurance is $17,290.
So wait, with
But
health
if you've got
insurance,
a
it's
coupon,
14?
If you got a coupon, you can get it for the great bargain of $14,775.28.
Dude, that's
Okay.
absurd.
So I saw it. It irritated me. So I said, well, we need to bring truth to light.
Yep.
So let's share this lady's case. So again, the picture on my left is, we're going to call that the before picture. So the red spots that you see have been diagnosed professionally by a dermatologist who's board certified in dermatology. The patient's chief complaint actually is itching. And the itching is so severe that it's causing her not to sleep at night. The not sleeping or sleep deprivation, if you will, is causing her to be depressed, and she's having crying jags throughout the day. Okay. So that's
girl,
day
man.
one. So the day she lands in our office is September 20th of 2023. So at that point, we basically put her in our program, which is very analogous to an oil change, a tire rotation, a radiator flush, and a new air filter.
Yeah.
Part of that treatment was removing gluten from her diet, because that's what I think is the principal player in the cause of the problem. So,
So hold on. You remove gluten and then what?
So the small intestine is the king.
Okay.
Okay. So everything starts with the king. So you guts are full of fungus. You know, Doug Kaufman taught us that, right? So you have to have prescription, or at least we write prescription antifungals, because the herbal stuff, in my opinion, doesn't work. I mean, you can't put out a bonfire with a squirt gun. You know?
Yeah, it's just not enough,
Those
basically.
natural herbal things are to maintain your health once you get better.
Yeah.
But when the bonfire is burning, you need a bigger hose.
Right.
So it's prescription antifungals, fiber, herbs, probiotics, digestive enzymes, the small intestine is the root of the issue. Chronic skin issues are not skin issues. They are blood, liver, and bowel issues that show up on your skin.
So it starts in the gut still, right?
Starts in the gut.
What
so blood, liver, bowel. So we talked about the bowel. The liver in our office is detoxed, as we talked about on episode 1.
Yep.
And the 63-year-old in the room does a once-a-week coffee enema to detox his liver.
My man.
And your blood in our office is detoxed through the IV.
Okay.
We have various different types of IVs, for fungus, for heavy metals, to heal your liver, different IVs for different indications. So the picture on the right is the exact same patient, November 1st of 2023. Total cost out of pocket, $750.
What's that? 2 months?
And
Less than 2 months?
In 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And she's
6 weeks. Okay.
and she's done, guys.
So
She's done.
But she's not only, she's done in the sense that she also has the tools to equip her so it doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
Correct.
There you go.
Because that's another
And
major
that
problem.
is
It just keeps coming
priceless.
back and back and
Yeah.
back.
When you're treating a symptom, now
the
you've
cause.
got the 17 grand per month or whatever it is. Right? If you treat the cause of the problem and you believe in possibility, that's what a miracle looks like. That's what a miracle looks like.
Yeah.
Amen.
100%.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
That's awesome.
That's good stuff.
That's a beautiful story, man.
Priceless.
That's
And man,
hard.
like
I remember my sister in high school dealing with skin issues, and now it's probably chalked up to a diet, I would imagine, or the bonfire, like you said.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine for a girl in high school having to deal with that because high school is one of the worst times.
Yeah.
Was that only on her back or was that like all over?
Other places as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's wild, man. But it's things like that are happening within Ganino Wellness day in, day out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are always doing this.
And guys, and now here's the thing, and this is where you, the viewer, come in. I mean, you were just witness to a miracle. I know you have a good feeling about it. And now your challenge is to go out and tell it, right? You got to talk to people about gluten. Got to talk to them about bowel ecology, right? Got to talk to them about acid pH, and how do you take your acidic pH and make it more alkaline? This is the movement that you guys.
Well,
that you guys
I'll
are
say
in.
this: I love having you on, particularly because everything that you are doing like really aligns with what we're trying to do with this show. Like this show is mind, body, spirit, because we believe wholeheartedly that you can't just treat one without the other, right? And I love how you bring in a spiritual component and that you take time with patients and pray and ask and ask them
every
to
single day.
do that also.
Yeah.
Because like the onus goes back on them too. It's like, hey, I'm going to pray with you, but you also need to be in silence with God, hearing from God, because chances are for sure, God's going to tell them something that there might be a chance that as great as you are at that job, you might get it wrong or get this wrong. So listen to yourself, right? Listen to God, hear that. I mean, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like that just aligns with this perfectly. So
So again, I do want to pause and just give you guys some props. Before this show, I was texting these guys some different little here and there, and is that a bad word?
We might.
Let's cut that part out.
it's good. I love it.
No, let's cut that out.
No, nobody's ever going to know.
Nobody's ever going to know. I love it.
So
back to praising.
Leading up to the show, I've been texting these guys some different pieces of information that I wanted to bring up on the show, and one of those things was
we just have way too much fun doing this, man. It's like this. We just have way too much fun.
All right, I'm out.
Sorry, guys.
I'm good. I'm good. I feel like a kid in class, dude. Where you just like kids.
Holding it.
God, I love Dr. G. Oh my goodness, I
man.
needed that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are always the
Laughter
most fun
is the best
ones.
Yes, I'm telling you, man.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.